Alrighty, my llama lovelies. I'm so glad to be back with you. As you can see, I'm wearing the same outfit. So I don't just wear the same clothes every day. I will show this again. It's my 24-hour chip that I made myself. It's really jankety, but I didn't explain that in my last video. I had bought some chips on Amazon, and I thought they were poker chips, but instead they turned out to be, I think they, I used them when I worked in daycare, for fine motor activities, fine motor skills and math skills, counting, grouping, and then of course just picking up the little tiny discs. These are it's just so little. It's in between the sides. It might be the size of a quarter. I feel like it might be. I feel like it's a little bit smaller than is it the size of a quarter? It's about the size of a quarter, which, as we know, poker chips are supposed to be bigger. But I also got different chips. This is how we're starting this video out, because I seem to start my videos blabbing. I got these fancy ones to mark the big milestones, the years and shit. Those are going to be for days and weeks and stuff. So I got these. These were fun. There's 12 of them. So we got a 50-cent. I'm going to put little paper or something over it to put that it's a week or whatever, or not a week, but a month and whatever. We got a 25-cent one. These are so fun. 5,000. $1 holla. We got 500. We got $5. 100 smackaroonies. $10 holla. 50 cent. $50, but 50 cent. Go shorty. It's your birthday. Incidentally, I just seen a thing on Facebook the other day that says the song that was #1 on your 21st birthday is the song that defines your 2021. The song on my 21st birthday was 50 Cent in the Club. Fucking rock on. I don't know how that works because it's COVID and you're not going to have that much fun in the club. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. Not today. Maybe in those 10 years. That was another video that I talked about that. But that's okay. $25 and the biggie, $10,000. I like these. I thought they were fun. I'm probably going to do cut out little circles or whatever to put around this circle. So I have the fun little border. And I'll put it around this part and put 1 year. What's the biggies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. Okie dokie, kids. Alright, so last we left off, we were talking about EDA and ABA, Eating Disorders Anonymous and Anorexics and Bulimics Anonymous. And I am talking fast, but I am sorry because I talk too much. I didn't think I talked this much going on the whole informational. I'm not just talking about myself, but I guess that's a lot of information. So I was talking in the last one about all the ABA stuff and in congruence with EDA and how it's kind of annoying, very 50-50 in it, but I am still going to go through the steps and see how it goes, mostly to push myself to do it and get to the whole making amends steps of 8 and 9. 8, make a list, and 9, do it. So I have a reason for contacting people. Sounds silly, but it's whatever. Alright, so I went through an excerpt from the ABA manual in the last video, as well as an article about critiquing it, and which was very some of the stuff I agreed with, some of the stuff I didn't, but most of it I did. Some of the stuff in the ABA manual is hard to decide, this whole thing about having somebody feed you, basically. You have zero control over what you can eat. And I'm who the fuck is adults? Unless you're a kid or you're in the hospital, anyway. That guy the case that they talked about, this doctor that was a recovering anorexic, had his wife for 7 years having full control over what food went in his body. And I'm sure that included like any of the other stuff that they talk about with like exercising and weighing yourself and, you know, whatever. And they say don't exercise. How are you going to tell some people to just completely not exercise? Good luck with that. I get if they're overdoing it, but come on now. I guess that's their version of cold turkey. Because you can't not eat, because that's one of the eating disorders. So this is the preamble for ABA meetings. I found this interesting. So it's the preamble, and then it's a brief just list of the 12 steps and 12 traditions. Yeah. So the opening of a meeting and the closing of a meeting. This is an open meeting. Oh, I'm sorry. The introductory statement of an open meeting or of a closed meeting. Welcome to Anorexics. I skipped that too. Welcome. This is how they start. Whoever's running the meeting. Welcome to Anorexics and Bulimics Anonymous. My name is. So we'll do this. Welcome to Anorexics and Bulimics Anonymous. My name is Samantha, and I'm recovering from bulimia. Please join me in a moment of silence to reflect on why we are here, followed by the Serenity Prayer. Silence. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I am, and the wisdom to know the difference. I love the Serenity Prayer, though. I do. I have it on a necklace, so, and I have it on a plaque thing, a little cute little glass plaque in my living room. I like the Serenity Prayer. It's a good thing. Now, for open and closed meetings. For an open meeting, they then say, this is an open meeting of Anorexics and Bulimics Anonymous. We welcome all of you, and particularly any newcomers, in keeping with our primary purpose and our third tradition, which states that the only requirement for ABA membership is a desire to stop unhealthy eating practices. We request all participants to limit their sharing to problems related to their eating disorder. Or this is a closed meeting of Anorexics and Bulimics Anonymous. In keeping with ABA's primary purpose, attendance at closed meetings is restricted to those who have a desire to stop unhealthy eating practices. If you think that you have a problem with unhealthy eating, you are welcome to participate in this meeting. When speaking about our problems, we request all who share to limit themselves to difficulties related to their eating disorder. Anorexics and Bulimics Anonymous is a fellowship of individuals whose primary purpose is to find and maintain sobriety in our eating practices and to help others gain sobriety. ABA is not allied or affiliated with any other 12-step program, with any other 12-step fellowship or outside organization. There are no dues or fees for ABA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop unhealthy eating practices that we have come to realize are progressively destroying our lives, all physically, mentally, and spiritually. In this group, we discover that our insane eating, starving, exercising, and purging behaviors are addictive in nature. That is, out of our own control. And that we actually use these behaviors and the inner physical change resulting from them to numb our emotions and escape from ourselves. See, I resonate with that. Like, I don't like the use of the word insane, which I discussed in my last video. I don't like it. They call people insane for having an eating disorder. They say about using a higher power, God or a higher power, to regain our sanity. No, bitch, I'm not insane. You might be, but I'm not. In doing so, we fall out of touch with others and out of step with the universe of which we are a part of, and we deprive ourselves the opportunity to be fully alive and present. in our present time and space. I'm not going to read this all to you. In our healing process, we use the 12 steps adapted from Alcoholics Anonymous as the foundation of our spiritual journey. Here are the steps we take. And then they ask individuals or everybody as a group to read the 12 steps out loud. Step 1, we can have lots of fun. Step 2, there's so much we can do. Sorry, I was a kid in the 80s and I love me some New Kids on the Block. Don't judge. Mind your business. Save the drama for your llama. Save the drama for your llama mama. I love me some boy bands. I love me some all kinds of music though. Anyway, step 1. We admitted that we were powerless over our insane eating practices and that our lives have become unmanageable. This is ABA. EDA, step 1. We admit that we are powerless over our eating disorders and that our lives have become unmanageable. Why can't you just say eating disorders? Insane eating. Really? Step 2. We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. That's what I was talking about a minute ago. Step 3. We made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand God to be. Step 4. We made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Okay. Step 5. We admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. Step 6. We are entirely ready to have God remove all of these defects of our character. Step 7. We humbly ask God to remove our shortcomings. Isn't that the same fucking thing? Step 8. We made a list of all persons that we have harmed and became willing to make amends with them all. Step 9. We made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Why would making amends injure people? And I know that's how it's written. Like, I'm pretty sure that's how it's written everywhere, because I think it's how it's written on this one too. So, which means it's probably how it's written on AAs or NAs. Why would it harm them? Step 10. Continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, we promptly admitted it. Step 11. Sought through prayer and meditation Step 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand God to be. And I say it like that because it's in italics. Praying only for the knowledge of God's will for us and the power to carry it out. Step 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to others suffering from eating disorders and to practice these principles in all our affairs. At least it said eating disorders this time and not insane eating like it did in step 1. I have a really big issue with the word insane being used. We at ABA also adhere to the adaptation of the 12 traditions that we have developed. I've asked so-and-so to read the traditions out loud today. I guess that'll be me too. Tradition 1. Our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends on ABA unity. This is what that one girl in the article that I talked about in my last video thought was cult-like. I mean, you just don't want to drink the Kool-Aid if you go to one of these. I won't drink anything if I ever actually attend a meeting in person. Just don't do it. Tradition 2. For our group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority. A loving God, as expressed in our group conscious. Our leaders are but trusted servants. They do not govern. Tradition 3. The only requirement for ABA membership is a desire to stop unhealthy eating practices. That's reasonable. I feel like that should probably be traditional 1, but who the fuck am I? Not in a cult, apparently, because that's the cult phrase that's number 1. Our common welfare is first. Fuck everybody else. No, we're not going to Jonestown today, sweetheart. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Tradition 4. Each group should be autonomous, except in matters affecting other groups or ABA as a whole. Okay. Tradition 5. Each group has but one primary purpose: to carry its message to the anorexic and bulimics who still suffer. That's reasonable. I feel like that should be up there with, stopping unhealthy eating practices. 1 and 2, but again, I'm not a cult leader, so I don't know. I'm not saying it's a cult. I just think that was a funny comparison. She said cult, and I just, don't drink the Kool-Aid. And don't drink the coffee. I wouldn't eat the donuts either. Do you think they have donuts at EDA meetings like they do at alcohol meetings? Those poor girls. Well, and guys. Those poor people. Sorry. I had a stereotyping moment. I am sorry. Everybody counts. Tradition 6. An ABA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the ABA name to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, and prestige divert us from our primary purpose. Okay, so if their meetings are in like the middle of nowhere and it's just all grass and maybe some huts or tents or something, don't go there. And if you do, don't drink it. Tradition 7. Every ABA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining any outside contributions. Don't cults take outside contributions? Maybe not. I don't know. Just the girl in the article. Watch the last video. Tradition 8. Anorexics and Bulimics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional. Come on, people! But our service centers may employ special workers. I get what it's saying, but it just sounds so comical because some of this shit sounds like a load of crap. Not the traditions or steps specifically, but like a little bit here and there. And then some of the shit that I rattled off in my last video, it's to have a tradition that says ABA should remain forever unprofessional. You think? Sometimes, yeah. But our services may employ special workers. And then it says special workers. Why are they special? What the fuck? Tradition 9. ABA, as such, ought never to be organized. It's literally too easy. But we may create service boards or committees directly responsible for those they serve. Incidentally, in correspondence with this, if you go to the ABA website, which is something like ABA, it's abasomething.org, they have a whole thing of like fundraisers and stuff, fundraisers and workshops. But they're not organized. It's okay. What the fuck? Tradition 10. Anorexics and Bulimics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues. Hence, the ABA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. Like, I get it. Like, they're not political. They're not, whatever. They're not dealing with any of the social, social, what do you call them? Like, hot topics and politics and shit. I get it. But it sounds funny. Tradition 11. Almost done. Our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. You gotta be pretty. Kidding. We need always maintain personal autonomy. We need always maintain personal anonymity at the levels of press, radio, TV, and films. They're not public. Okay. I mean, sure. We're not public figures. That's all you gotta say. Tradition 12. Anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all of our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities. Clearly. I think that's the best last thing, because they have no personality. And what they do is apparently insane. So, I mean, hey. We learned that it was important to work the 12 steps until we were sober, and it is quoted, in our eating practices. Without physical sobriety, it is impossible to recover from any addiction, including anorexia and bulimia. And the girl in the article that I read in the last video was like, didn't think it was an addiction. I mean, it is. It's a habit. Like, it's a habit. It's an addiction. You know, whatever you want to call it, it can be. You know, maybe not always, but it can be a decent way to describe it. Many of us puzzled over precisely what sobriety means. Here we go. We tried various ways of changing our eating practices. We tried modifying our exercise patterns. We tried cutting down on our binges and refrained from purging afterwards. We tried eliminating the binge purge cycle. I would hope you did all that. You're a fucking What? Oh, we tried eliminating the binge purge cycle while simultaneously falling into the trap of anorexic restriction of our food intake. We tried allowing ourselves to eat while continuing to exercise to compensate for the food that we ingested. We tried many other half measures while still clinging to little vestiges of control to avoid the most fearful state. Getting fat. It says it. Or, if we were already overweight, we clung to these control measures to lose that weight. Some of us appeared unconcerned about our weight and instead engaged in controlling behaviors to avoid feeling our feelings. It's a control issue. Some people may not have had eating issues. Like maybe they did, or like not eating issues, that may not have had a weight complex. They may have been a perfectly fine weight and knew that they were a perfectly fine weight, but hey, I can control what I eat. I'm feeling XYZ. I'm not going to eat until I feel like it, which could be fucking weeks. Or I'm going to eat the fucking house down and then throw up. Or I'm just going to eat the fucking house down. We learned through all this experience that the intoxicating drug to which we were addicted to is not the act of starvation or the exercise or the binge purge cycle itself, but rather the drug of anorexia and bulimia is the feeling of being in control of our food, our body weight, and our shape. This sense of control is generated in us through restrictive eating practices, or through purging after we binge, or through exercise. Many of us learned to become fully sober. Many of us learned that to become fully sober, we needed to let go absolutely and surrender all control to our food, exercise, body weight, and shape to a higher power. In early recovery, this power worked through other human beings. Later, as we restored to sanity, by following the 12 steps, we came to connect with this higher power alive within ourselves. You are the God of your own reality. You are God. Your higher self, y'all, you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and even you back there. You are God. You are higher power. You are God of yourself. You can have other gods, but know that you are the motherfucking God. God is whatever the hell you want to call yourself. You are the God of your own damn reality. La la la. Sobriety is surrender. That's what sobriety is. See, they define it. That girl said that they didn't define it. In the article from my last video, part 1, they define it. Sobriety is surrender. And it is not a passive state of submission, but rather a highly active, entirely voluntary letting go that requires intensive work on a daily basis. We learn that sobriety is experienced only one day at a time or one meal at a time. And that we cannot be sober through willpower. We learn that sobriety is a gift from our higher power, that we can ask for this gift on a day-by-day or meal-by-meal basis. We learn that when we honestly asked for the grace to surrender for this meal, we received it. We learned what tools of recovery worked for us in the difficult process of getting sober and staying sober. Here are some tools that many of us find useful. Number 1, prayer. Imagine asking a higher power daily for the means and strength to stay sober, even though we may not yet truly believe in such power. Sounds legit enough. I don't. Okay. Number 2, quiet time. My favorite time of day. In which we center ourselves and clearly focus on our energy and receiving our gift of sobriety. That's actually a thing, though. It's manifesting. You just got to have the affirmations in there. If you have quiet time and you're thinking about, what you want to eat, or even, what fucking color the sky is, or, you want to go to the mall this weekend, or you're so pissed off that you can't go to the Chinese buffet, what you want to, whatever. What time you got to go to work in the morning, whatever. You got to think about, the issues at hand. Manifest. I am sober. I am healthy. Don't say I am not, or I don't have. I have a great relationship with food. I have a healthy relationship with food. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. 3, reaching out. Reaching out by telephone contact with another recovering person before and after meals. Why does it have to be another recovering person? Meetings. Both ABA and other 12-step meetings are critically important in maintaining sobriety. Many of us in the early recoveries attend 90 meetings in 90 days. I can't find any meetings. I don't know who lied to them, but there's Zoom meetings, and I'm contemplating plugging into either one of theirs or EDA's Zoom meetings. Theirs seem more able to, more clear on what they are. EDA's website's meetings are weird. I don't get it. But I'll figure it out. Number 5, reading. The textbook of our fellowship. See, they even call it a fellowship. This is so religious. And the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous are especially useful. Notice how they only use the AA one and not the EDA one. There's an EDA big book too, and I have a digital version of it. You're able to download a digital version of it for free. I have that. I either have it or it's on their website for free. I forget, but I downloaded this workbook from it. So what's the deal with that? Because maybe they're crazy? They're insane. EDA does not use insanity. Number 6, get a sponsor. We ask someone in the fellowship with more sobriety than we have to sponsor us. This person is essential to guide us through the 12 steps and is often available to assist us in maintaining sobriety. Number 7, journaling. Periodically recording in written form what we are feeling and learning on our journey through recovery. I'm down with that. I like writing. And number 8, service work. We went through a couple of these in my last one, but not to this extent. Number 8 is service work. Our most powerful tool, even when all else fails, working with another anorexic or bulimic will save the day. It will save the day and allow a higher power to keep us in order. To keep us sober. Is anyone here for the first time? Remember, this is what they read at the beginning of an ABA meeting. Is anyone here for the first time? If so, ask a sober member to speak to the newcomer. If there is, ask a sober member to speak to the newcomer, outlining what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now as a result of joining this fellowship and working the 12 steps. Is anyone coming back for a second or more time? Who would care to identify themselves now? Not I, said me. Does anyone have a topic to put forward today? If there are any newcomers, the topic should be the topic of the first 3 steps should be strongly suggested. There's probably new members every day, or damn near. That's how AA meetings are. You're gonna go through the first 3 steps in every fucking meeting? The meeting is now opened for sharing, either on this topic or any others that you need to speak about, related to the eating disorder, of course. I'd like to remind everyone that, out of courtesy, we refrain from interrupting others to speak. We are not here to counsel or practice therapy on anyone, but to share our own personal experience, strength, and hope. Please identify yourself each time you begin to speak. If the group is large, also add, since our group is large today, please be aware of the time so that everyone will have an opportunity to share. 5 minutes before closing, resume leadership as follows. We are nearly out of time. Does anyone else wish to speak? Our 7th tradition states that we are fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. At this time, we pass around a basket and invite ABA members to contribute toward our expenses. Really? Wow. In closing, let's remember that we are an anonymous group. We are an anonymous group meeting in deep trust of one another. Whom you see here and what you hear here, let it remain here. What happens at the ABA meeting stays at the ABA meetings, motherfucker. I've asked so-and-so to read the 9th step promise today from the big book. They read that. Are there any announcements for the good of ABA? Me, I have an announcement. More like a statement. Please stop calling us motherfucking insane, bitch. And please stop being so damn religious. I don't care about that. I mean, I do, but whatever. Please stop calling me insane. That's an issue. Can I please have volunteers to clean up after the meeting? Where are my servants at? Would all who care to please join me in closing the meeting with the prayer? Either the Serenity Prayer, the Lord's Prayer, or the 3rd step prayer. More will be on the 3rd step prayer later. Okay, well, I'm going to stop here. And once we pick up next time, we will talk about the steps and how I am going through them. All right, kids. I would like you all to be my friend. No, let's all be friends. Let's all be accountable, and let's all do this shit, bitches. My llama loving bitches. I don't even care if you don't like llamas. You're still my bitches. Props. Please do the YouTube thing and like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to be notified when more content is uploaded. And I will see you next time, kiddos. Mwah! Namaste, bitches. Bye.